Hello everybody, it's Kara from Wild Book Garden, and today I'm very excited to announce round 2 of Shakespeare-themed readathon that I co-host, which is All the World's a Page. Yes, we are so excited about this. My co-hosts are Olivia Savannah from Olivia's Catastrophe and Julia from Shakespeare and Such. I love both of them. I will link them down below. Please check them out if you're not already following them, and yeah, we're super excited about this. So as I said, All the World's a Page is a Shakespeare-themed readathon. All three of us love Shakespeare, and we really want this readathon to be kind of a fun, way to read more Shakespeare or Shakespeare adjacent things if you're already comfortable with his work, or to kind of just dip your toes in if you're not really sure how you're going to get on with his plays, or maybe you've been wanting to for a long time but you're not sure where to start, that kind of thing. We want this to be really approachable. Our first round was kind of geared towards that, and this second round is kind of themed around reminding people that Shakespeare is supposed to be fun. So the prompts for this round are based off of popular tropes or character types that occur in a lot of Shakespeare's plays, and I'll get into those in a minute, but first, the readathon will be running for the entire month of August, so you have a nice long time especially if you're going to be reading Shakespeare, we don't want you to feel rushed. And another thing about this, we are not doing specific these are the plays that you need to read for this prompt or anything. We want it to be up to you guys. If you are a Shakespeare beginner, but you're I'd really like to read one of his plays this time, and you read one of his plays, that's fantastic. If you're a Shakespeare expert and you want to read a bunch of his work, that's great. If you want to read some Shakespeare retellings, if you want to read some books that are not at all related to Shakespeare, but that just play off of these prompts, all of that is great. All of that counts as participation. We want this to be a really customizable series of prompts. So however much Shakespeare or Shakespeare adjacent things you want to read, you can do that. So let's get into the prompts. As always, the hosts encourage everyone to read diversely across the board, and not just for those specific prompts that require it. That should really be something you think about just in general for your reading. The first prompt is, you have a twin, I guess? Read a book in a duology, because Shakespeare loves to have a plot twist where a twin shows up, often an identical twin. The next prompt is the inevitable cross-dressing, which is a very, very common trope in a lot of Shakespeare's comedies, and that is to read a queer book. The next prompt is villain monologue. Read a book focusing on a villain, antagonist, or antihero, or a book that you think is going to have a significant character arc. That can be a positive arc or a negative arc. I should have said dramatic character arc. The next prompt is the fool with all the wisdom. Take a chance on a book you're unsure about. And this can be for any reason, really. Maybe there's something about the cover that you're not really sure about, what the book is about. Maybe the premise is something you're not sure you'll enjoy. Maybe you were initially excited about the book, but you've heard mixed things about it, that kind of thing. Really, a lot of these are open to interpretation. The next prompt is Band of Brothers. Read a book with multiple points of view or an ensemble cast. The next prompt, underrated female character outshines the main character. I love this prompt. This happens a lot in Shakespeare plays. Read a book by a BIPOC female author. So in case you weren't aware, BIPOC is Black, Indigenous, or person of color. The next prompt is Lavinia Speaks. Read a book by a disabled author. And this is specifically based on Lavinia's character from Titus Andronicus, which is a very that play has a ton of content warnings, so be aware of that if you are planning to read that one. But Lavinia does become disabled during the play, and so Lavinia Speaks, this is a prompt about celebrating disabled authors who are telling their own stories. So that was kind of the character section of prompts, and we also have some for the story prompts, or story tropes. By the way, you do not have to do all these prompts. It should be just whichever ones you want to do. If you are all three of us and are overachievers who want to complete every prompt, we welcome stacking prompts. So the first story trope prompt is fake your own death, because that will definitely solve this problem. Give a book or author a second chance at life. So maybe that's a book that you've DNF'd before, or giving an author a second chance. You haven't liked one of their books, but you want to see if you like a different one, that kind of thing. Next prompt, it's a problem play, so your punishment is marriage. Read a book with a romance element in it. And this is because in several of Shakespeare's plays, specifically the problem plays, the way that marriage is used is it's supposed to be a happy ending, but it really doesn't feel like that. But the reading prompt itself is more positive. You don't need to read an unhappy romance, just read a book with a romance in it. The next prompt is even insta-love sounds beautiful when you write at will. Read a book with beautiful writing or a writing style you love. So if you don't like really flowery writing, don't read that one. Read a book that has a writing style that you either think you're going to enjoy, or that you already know that you like. The next prompt is definitely not set in England, I promise. Read a book set in a country you don't live in. And this prompt is based around the fact that even though a lot of Shakespeare's plays don't technically take place in England, or they're not supposed to, they basically take place in England because of like all the context of the story really points to like specifically like English politics or things that are happening in England at the time, but nominally it's like set in Vienna or something. The next prompt is history, but add even more drama. Read a book that blends historical fiction and another genre. So that could be fantasy, romance, etc. Does this play need 3 parts? Read a book in a series. And that is of course due to the fact that some of Shakespeare's history plays have more parts than they have any right to. Okay, so those are all of the prompts. Again, don't feel like you have to complete all of them, but if, like the hosts, you would like to, we welcome prompt stacking. The Readathon also has a Twitter account, which I will link down below, and I think we also have plans to do some kind of watch-along this time, so keep an eye on the 3 of our channels. I think we're going to put up some polls about which movie to watch and when to do it, so just keep an eye on our channels, and also on the Twitter account, but we know not everyone is on Twitter, so we didn't want to do the poll there. But I think that's everything. If I have forgotten anything, I will put that in the description, but please comment down below and let me know if you are going to join us. We would love to have you. Again, it can be as much Shakespeare or as little Shakespeare as you want. We might do like kind of put together some recommendations for Shakespeare retellings if you would like to read some of those and which prompts they fit for. So if we do that, again, keep an eye on our channels and on our Twitter account for that. But yeah, I think that's everything. I hope that some of you guys can join us. We're very excited about this. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you soon with another video, and I hope you love the next book you read. Bye!